So my name is kind of irrelevant right now. I don't necessarily want the fame, but I've been itching to make this video for the longest time, watching the manosphere, the pink sphere, the whatever you want, whatever. All these are labels are stupid at the end of the day, which I get fed up with it. Whether the label of, oh, that's being masculine or that's being feminine and blah blah. Let's get into the actual nitty gritty details. All right. So this one is a rough draft. Yes, I will be polished. I run multiple businesses. I don't have time to really, even though it'd be nice to kind of make it on YouTube, it's a platform that I can be, taken off real quickly by just basically stating the truth. Some of us already know how crazy it is, but some of these channels that I see that are still there, it's worth a shot. So I'm finally going to enter into this arena. I don't know if I probably might make a separate YouTube channel, and I want to put it on some of my other channels because I have multiple channels, to tell you the truth. But all right, let's get to it. This is the creation or behind the scenes or whatever, the making of what is a woman's worth. All right, which inherently you could also label it as what is a man's worth, because that's what we are going to compare and contrast. And the overall point of this, guys, apart me showing this real quick, is to show you I'm not some kind of fat, nasty slob that's living in my mama's basement or whatever the fuck, So the women are like, oh, he's probably ugly and this way, this and that. It's like, again, the fame would be nice, sexing time, I don't know. Again, I'm kind of indifferent right now. I'm on the fence about that. But, so yeah, ultimately this is actually to not only show you men your worth, right, what you are really worth, that you bring in more in the value than women do, and also women to have a realistic understanding of what their worth is. Now, of course, see, complexity is only complex things are made of from a bunch of simplistic things. And the reason why we say it's complicated is because there is a multitude of factors. And why it can also get complicated is because humans, right, for better or for worse, we humans can change our mind, right? That's why I tell women sometimes, and men, he or she may be telling you the truth at that moment that they love you, okay? But over time, that doesn't mean that will not change. Some of it is justified. Let's say if he or she becomes a bitch or an asshole, right? But again, if in my world, you have to have proof. In the world of cell phones and technology, and I got cameras in my house for that specific purpose, and I already have my evidence about how women will act, right? And even with the cameras, she still threatened me, and me looking at my time worth me dealing with the bullshit. Right, I could have won, but just like, man, at that moment, I did not need the extra stress. I had a bunch of stress and from a bunch of other shit that I'm juggling in businesses. The last thing I need is to deal with the police and potential court, even though she has a record and all this other bullshit. So, anyways, let's get to it, because sometimes I tend to ramble. But all right, let's get to it. Right, so let's put here. What have women traditionally brought to the table? All right, because more often than not, especially in these modern times, and some of you guys will understand, these girls say, I bring support and blah blah blah. That's like, if you can't quantify it, right, because that's what we're trying to use. We've gotten to a point in society where everything's basically been given a monetary value, whether you agree with it or not, because there are some fucked up shit in our society that should be paid. There are certain jobs or occupations that should be getting paid more, but they're not. For example, in my opinion, a life-saving surgeon should probably be making millions, but instead of them, we have actors, ball players, football players, basketball players, baseball players, right? Actors, what else? Adult entertainers, whatever, making way more money than they do, right? And if they were to disappear, we would be bored, sure, to a certain degree, but we wouldn't be complaining like, where's our water? We wouldn't basically be maybe dying or starving, right? If as soon as our water, our food, our shelter, our energy, and medicine is interrupted, then we know what we know what real value is. Because if you're thirsty, the last thing you'll be thinking about is your football game, okay, or any of your athlete or your entertainers, singers, whatever, actors, actresses, whatever, right? When you're hungry, exact same thing, right? They're not farmers. They're not going to provide you. They're not the truck drivers that deliver that food from the farm to you, right? They're not the people who at the grocery store packing it and serving it so you can pick it off the shelves. Okay, so in this society we have a highly distorted value system. Okay, it is completely just, for lack of a better word, retarded. All right, so but we also have to deal with what is at the moment, right? So as much as I disagree, and some people may disagree or agree with the current value systems that we have for such services, they are quantified and we can put them on paper, right? So what has a woman traditionally brought to the table? Cooking, right? Cleaning, sex, surrogacy. I don't even know how to spell surrogacy. And I like to do things phonetically. Let me see over here, actually. I'll just Google it over here on my phone. Surrogacy. Here we go.
Here's the definition of surrogacy. The action or...
Yeah. Surrogacy, babysitting. You could call it parenting too. You could also maybe add, I don't know, let me see. Now that I'm thinking about this, see, that's why it's always good to put it on paper. I have bits and pieces in all around, which I'm gonna pull them up to create my ultimate video on this. But I just wanted to get something finally done and put out there so you guys can give me feedback, and that way I can, if I'm missing something, you guys can add to it. Be you woman or man. Now, even though I know most of the mgtow men or the red pill, whatever, are gonna cop me as their own, no, I don't take any sides. I'm not labeling myself anything, whatever. Yes, I will be primarily putting this on those channels, but also on some of these women who obviously agree with us, and also the ones that don't agree with us. Hopefully I can convince them, like, yo, this is what it is. This is, you know, if you're gonna use logic and you're finally ready to drop your emotion, which really is just your pride and ego. It's pride and ego. So if they're ready, which is great, this will hopefully set them straight, and then obviously they will reap the rewards of that. Because, yeah, you know, in a sense, all these batshit crazy women actually give them the incentive to be, you know, get what those batshit crazy women secretly desire, but are not willing to compromise or submit or cooperate, whatever the fuck you want to use, whatever words you want to use. Words are the least effective communicators that get in the way, and ultimately too, most of you will not understand this unless you listen to a couple books called Conversation with God, and I'll put those links in the description at one point if I forget, so you guys can listen to that, because there's a lot of males too that need to unprogram themselves from the bullshit relationship structures or concepts that we have created in society. All right, so babysitting, you can say, you know, babysitting can also, you can say parenting. Well, we both do that. Parenting. You could also say teaching, but I mean, it depends, you know. Let's say if the woman was a math teacher, then okay, she can be a math teacher to their things, whatever. But if they have a math teacher at school, then it doesn't matter that the mom's a math teacher. All she's doing probably is giving the kid just a better head start, because, you know, she's proficient at that. But again, we're not going to deal with the exceptions. We're going to deal with the rule. All right, you ladies that understand the bell curve and how the phenomenon of the bell curve and how basically life distributes itself in a bell curve type of expression, then, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but you got to get educated. All right, cooking, cleaning, sex, surrogacy, babysitting. Okay. So let's see here. So what have what have men traditionally, and still at this point, because that's why some of us males are getting annoyed at women, because they want to be they want to be modern when it benefits them, and they want to be traditional when it benefits them. When it doesn't benefit them, then they're complaining that the double standard sucks and blah 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 blah. It just really, at the end of the day, men don't like women because they're women. We don't like it because of the hypocrisy. Real men that have sexual discipline, which is not many, and that's my gripe with a lot of you so-called men. I call you boys or fucking man-childs because, yeah, a lot of you have no sexual discipline, and you mess up the game in so many ways for all men and for women at the end of the day too. So it hurts you women at the end of the day, which I'll probably prove at one point in one of these videos. Again, putting it in your face, showing you flow charts, I think will describe all that. So men basically just bring resources, aka I'll put resources / money, right? Because with that, right, it gets everything else, right? So protection, and that's basically it if you think about it. But we do bring sex, obviously. It's not as valued as much as for women, because why? You men make it so. Okay, it takes two to tango, and yes, right now women have more of the power, therefore more of the responsibility to fix that. And some could say, yes, it is karma because of how men treated women in the past. But there's a lot, again, I think that's what I was going to say earlier. There's a lot of historically ignorant, illiterate people out there that don't understand history, let alone how it changes from race and culture. Because within a race, you can have multiple cultures. Okay, so obviously we bring sperm. Right, we bring the sperm because some are like, oh, we're the ones that create life, and it's like, no, we, meaning man and woman, are the ones that create life. But you can't put the cart before the horse, right? If you use that analogy, right, the goal, right, let's say to plow the fields is equivalent to the goal of perpetuating the human race, right? The human race. And by putting the cart first before the horse, we cannot perform that function. And that's what we're doing, because we're putting women above men, right? Meaning the cart, right? The men are the horse, the workhorse, right? And the women are the cart. If we put the cart before the horse, we won't be able to plow the fields, meaning we won't be able to do that thing. So that's what we're doing. When we put women above men, men will adapt, right? Slowly but surely, they will adapt, and they're gonna opt out as they're opting out, and it's just like, fuck it, right? I found solutions, right? Ultimately, because there's always is a solution or alternatives or workarounds. So for mine, and of course, I'm the exception because I make good money and I'm making more good money, right? I'm gonna start an adult film company, and therefore, I will fulfill every man's true desire. Even the ones that say, I just want one woman. Shut the fuck up. You are just as ridiculous as a lot of these other women. They're like, I can be faithful forever. Most people don't even say that shit or whatever. Or some people sometimes say, oh, a long-term relationship. Like, and they don't even define it. Okay, what's a long-term relationship? Because some people might be 5 years, some people might be 10 years. If you don't put definitive things on it, right? Especially if you understand the law of attraction, even though fucking Hollywood bastardized all that, right? You have to be specific. Just like in this dimension, if you're not, all this shit you see around you cannot exist if we finally don't take an actual decision, right? I want this part has to be X amount of inches or whatever centimeters, all right? You can't be like, oh yeah, this time I'll make it 10 centimeters, next time I'll make it 12. No, you have to be exact and, more importantly, consistent, okay? So, surrogacy, we'll say here, we'll put here, actually here. Eggs. just put womb, right? Womb. Sperm, okay, babysitting, okay. Exact same thing, right? The father can bring babysitting. The question is, how much does he do it? Okay, so that's we're gonna get into. That's where we're gonna get into the gray areas, because as much as we'll get these numbers, right? There are a lot of factors to be accounted for, and that's why you're going to see why it's been taking me for a while to finally get to this and whatnot, and people are going to argue over the numbers and blah 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 blah. Okay, so all right, let's see here. Potentially do also, so some men will cook. I like to cook. I haven't, be honest, I haven't done it much recently because I am busy. So in this case, it would be nice to have a girl that does it, right? But I can afford to eat out. See, again, so we're gonna go back and forth from regular average Joe Blow, and then your 20, 10%ers, whatever. I'm definitely in the 10%. Okay, again, because women eventually end up defining us by our money, by our income, whether they want to admit it or not, right? Fuck all the ladies that cap, right? That lie or whatever, jumper or whatever they say, the new kids out there, all right? They will define us by our number. Society will define us by a number. Love will not pay the rent, right? If your rent is $10,000 a month, your love will not pay it. Your occupation will, okay? So cooking. Yes, so some of us clean. See, and we may not clean the kitchen or the bathroom or whatever the fuck, but we'll clean the yard, right? We'll be doing the yard, right? So that's why I have another video I'll be making, is how to structure, and I just labeled it, how to structure a, let me see here. I was writing it down. I was at the Mexican restaurant today getting my menudo. How to structure a successful permanent or non-permanent sexual relationship. Okay, and we're going to go back in time again because a lot of you are historically ignorant, right? More on the women's side than on the men's side, but regardless, there's a lot of dumbass young guys too, and I guess you can't blame them because they're young. But again, there's no reason why we should have delayed adulthood. Why we have done it, we can speculate on and articulate all kinds of ways. But the fact of the matter is, we have delayed adulthood. We could teach kids a lot more practical stuff of life faster if most people were not walking around unconscious, okay? A lot of you are highly unevolved, and again, there's nothing good or bad, because a seed is no better because it's not a tree yet. It goes through stages. But obviously, like a seed, if we put it in an ultimate environment, in a conducive environment for it to grow exponentially fast or at its optimum growth rate, then obviously the seed can become a tree faster, right? So anyway, so cleaning, yada yada. So ultimately, what I hope to design in the future is an app where it makes all the quantification of the services that men and women are trading, okay? And so that if they were to have to part ways, right, it would make it easier. It's just like having a tax planning, right? Tax planning throughout the year. So by the time tax, the tax month comes, or tax day comes, right, to submit your taxes, it's a lot easier. So that's the problem with that. If you don't have a plan, right? People don't plan to fail; they fail to plan. So if you don't have a plan on how to equitably dissolve your partnership, right, and split the assets, if any, right, material things or whatever that you guys have gotten together, there's going to be a fight. And of course, we know who's usually petty, petty in these cases, right, because they feel that sex was the greatest, or is way more worth way more than anything you bring. And this is where we're going to see that it is clearly not. But certain men don't know about these things, and even if they know about these things, they don't approach them in the right way, because a lot of you men are fearful. So, I don't even see. Sometimes I don't even want to use the word man. I mean, you're not a man until you're actually willing to tell the fucking truth. And then beyond that, it's like, what skills do you bring? You know? So, all right, so here we go. So over here, I started this thing here. Okay, how much should I pay my cleaning lady, right? See, according to Thumbtrack, a house service company, right? This is a company. And here's the thing though, they come, and I can show you videos of the service that I can hire in my apartment here. They come with like fucking 3, 4 girls deep, sometimes 5, right? Because that way they can smash it, and therefore, in the economy of scale, again, so a lot of this stuff is probably going to go over a lot of you ladies' heads. It really is, because society, meaning men, have not created an environment for you to need to understand these things. Why? Because we take care of that task, right? Some men do it because we've been told to do that because of tradition. Some of it do it because they know then that means anytime, just like the government, anytime you give your responsibility to somebody else, they hold power over you, right? So the water you drink, if you don't go to the river and purify yourself or whatever, you don't really know what you're getting, right? So you're putting your trust on the companies that sell you this water, right? Your food, exact same thing. Your house, who built it? You know, you put the trust in all the carpenters that framed it, or maybe framed it right, or poured the concrete right, or who knows, right? I'm just saying, anytime, and of course, we can't do everything ourselves, or else we wouldn't move forward as society, but well, that's why trust is so important. And once it's fucking just like money, you know, if people lose trust in the money, shit collapses, right? If people lose trust in another person, shit collapses, right? So, and yeah, if you start with a lie, eventually it's gonna break. You're gonna get caught, and you're gonna sever trust, all right? So, anyways, let's see here. So, I see here you go. If I'm for a small apartment, yes, yeah, for a small apartment, and see, see how they're distinguishing the factor, right? And this is true, 80 to 90 to 110, because with me they charge $95. All right, so here we're gonna put cleaning. See, this is the thing, because we have a one time or as needed. And then we have monthly, which when I was getting quotes for cleaning companies to come to clean my Airbnb, you know, and I was living in there too at the same time, so it was a mixture of business and personal. There really wasn't a monthly thing. It was based on square footage, okay, as they're trying to break it down here. All right, so depending on where you live, that's why I'm creating a template, and this will become a template at one point, or in the relationship I'll be having a template to outlining all these things, right? So that you can recalibrate, because you may be a couple living in an apartment, and then you're like, okay, we want a house now. Okay, well, what tasks do these house bring that differ from the apartment? And therefore, you got to recalibrate the value of the services you're trading. Okay, so cleaning, it's usually a one-time thing, and I think I was quoted $95. It might have been $90, but whatever, $95. Okay, now if we know we're going to need it at least once a week, we can quantify what that is, right? So let's see here. Now I'll make formulas later. Again, this is just going to be, I don't know, we'll stop in about, shit, I don't even know how fucking long this was, damn it. I'll just cut it up into parts, and therefore people, because sometimes I see a 3-hour video, like, oh, I don't want to see a 3-hour video, so we'll clear it up. All right, so 95 times 4, that comes out to 380, right? So this is saying if we know, because I know my toilet needs cleaning. My cleaning cycle is every Sunday, so once a week. I know that once a week my toilet will be horrible. I racked up a certain amount of laundry. The same thing with the shower, the tub, you know, because yeah, you can let it go for 2 weeks. You could also do it every 2 weeks, but you will have to exert a little more effort into cleaning it. So my personal preference is every once a week, right? And then I GoPro it. So I suggest for recalibrating in every place you move, right? Men/women, whatever, whether you do it If you're a particular man like me, then you do it, you record it, so you can show it. Not only is it a training video, so you can show it to what degree of cleaning level you want to go, right? But you can, but also calibrates of how much time it actually takes to fulfill to do that job, so you can quantify it based on the going marking rate, right? Okay, so now for cooking, all right. How much does a chef make? See, and this one's going to be all over the place, right? This is an executive chef, right? They might have actually went to school, to culinary school. So, see here, how much is this a 5-star chef? Is your wife a 5-star chef? I don't know, right? So here we go. Restaurants and hotels. In a normal restaurant environment, the executive chef has opportunity to earn anywhere from $40,000 upwards, okay? Now, of course, if your woman works, right, she's obviously not cooking all the time. This is basically a full-time job, right? 9 to 5 to make the 40 and above, okay? So this is where it gets very tricky, but it could also be very simplified because that's what I did, right? So if I eat out all the time and I'm ranging anywhere, I've been averaging about $800. Sometimes I cross into $1,000 or whatever. So we're gonna put here just as a, you know, we're throwing you a bone here, ladies. We'll say $900, okay? Because even if you are a chef, right? If I say, okay, I'm gonna hire you as a personal chef, you're gonna be cooking. You're not gonna be cooking all the time, okay? Also, when you meal prep, you can actually save a whole lot of time if you actually systemize. That's what I'm gonna tell you guys here, right? Women don't systemize shit, because if they systemize shit, right, if they really were like men and thought like men, and they could, but you fathers don't raise them that way, okay? What's it called? Shit would be, they would have a lot more time on their hands, and on average they do. Why do you think so many housewives ended up getting fat or whatever? It's because they have as soon as the white goods came along,
Drink water.
right? As soon as the white goods came along, everything changed, okay? And then the TV came, and that's where they plopped most of their fat asses, right? And whatever, or they were skinny, and then they grew with the fat asses, because what they would do is just sit there on TV, right? Now, obviously, now it's switched to Facebook and Instagram, right? Facebook, Instagram, TV, right? Because again, when you actually do the cleaning of a house, and in Portland, I had a 3-bedroom, 2-story house, okay? Now I have a 1-bedroom apartment, so I'm going to show you the guys the difference, because I GoPro everything with a you know, point of view. I got a hat with a, you know, the GoPro sessions. What's it called? Yeah, so you can see how long it actually takes, and to what level or degree of cleanliness that I like it. And most people have told me, and I'll show you my reviews on Airbnb, saying that I'm extremely clean, right? Even people that would come over and say, "Oh, you are so clean, you're so disciplined, da da da. Were you in the military? Blah 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 blah. This and that, whatever." Okay, yeah. If some people say I'm anal retentive, blah 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 blah, whatever. Okay, so yeah. Let's see here. So, and then okay, so on top of that, again, so to me, to pay you a master chef or full-time chef or whatever, to whatever degree, it's like, well, again, if you're going to be doing all these other things, you won't be having time to cook, all right? But let's say you did systemize or whatever. All I'm saying is that you can't compete with the economy of scale, ladies, okay, and guys, right? They cannot compete with the economy of scales of you going to a restaurant and having a bunch of people actually that are cooking for you, right? Or yeah, you know, sometimes it's multiple chefs in a kitchen that because it's done in more of an assembly line, right, type of thing, if they're smart, obviously. I mean, just look at McDonald's, right? So because why? That brings down the price of food, which is great. We should be happy about that. All right, so roughly speaking, you're looking at $900, right? Before, what I did, let's see, I did, if I said you need 3 meals a day, which I usually eat 2, depending on how much what I did the week for work, and also for working out, or how, you know, how crazy my work day was, because I'm remodeling bathrooms. And I basically do all the work myself. Sometimes we have jobs where there's, you know, a flight of stairs, and, you know, we're dealing with tile back with with mortar and fucking, some kind of concrete backing, which is, whew, that shit is even harder to rip off, and they got reinforced mesh and all those stuff. So anyways, so basically what I've seen is about $10 a meal, 3 times a day. You're looking at $30 per day for food, right, for individual, right? Times that by 30 days, yeah, so you're looking at $900, okay? So, all right, so that's that right there. So we would basically could say, okay, here's $900. That's your range. And I've been asking people actually, what do they spend in food? And normally for individuals, they're saying 500. I got numbers all over the place, but I'm pretty sure they're not like me. I have every receipt basically since the past 7 years. All right, if not more. All right, so I know the cost of eating out, right? And of course, you have to deal with inflation and blah blah blah. But anyways, we're gonna just say 900 because that's what it's still clocking in at for the most part. All right. Now sex. Sex that can vary a lot, and here, okay. And so before you guys like, oh, all right. So I'm gonna. Okay, how to explain this? Okay, first, let me give you this proof, right? See here, this is less than half of the girls I've had. Okay, I got more, and I got to update this, and there are girls that never got in my car for one reason or another, like her. I'm not gonna say her name, but the day I got my car, she was supposed to come over, and some bullshit happened with her grandma or whatever, and like typical woman, she fucking was just crazy, it just impatient, right? I told her my biggest pet peeve is switching our dates at the very last minute, and I was gonna book a what's it called, a fucking in Portland there's this boat cruise where you get to, the boat goes around the river or whatever, and you get a nice fancy dinner, blah 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 blah, cool views, whatever. But yeah, she ended up fucking like, my grandmother died and this and that. I'm just like, and I took a while to respond to her, and I think she didn't like that, but okay, it's fine. Again, all right. So to simplify this, yes, I found them through through the sugar baby dating sites. Okay. Why? And that's gonna be a whole other video of why basically your girlfriend is basically a de facto escort. Women don't even have to be, but they still decide to put some kind of monetary value for the sex that men are desiring, and that is not men's fault, right? But it is women's choice. And where it gets crazy is because, again, factoring now the phenomenon or the reality that we live in the age of the concept of feminism, and they're saying, oh, we want equality and social, politically, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to dating, again, they want the traditional bullshit. And it's like, okay, it's just like the fucking logic. It's just like, okay, you don't want to be considered a prostitute. Okay, it's not your fault that the guy wants sex. He may want more, but whether he wants a one-night stand or a fucking girlfriend or a wife, right? Like I tell these girls, you think your husband's not going to want sex, right? That is okay, sure, okay, you're not a prostitute because he wants you to be, he wants you to cook and clean and have his baby and blah blah blah. Therefore, it's not just sex for money, right? It's sex, cooking, cleaning, and all these other services. To basically, well, that's why I refined it as a domestic service provider in exchange for money, right? So yes, and for those ladies like, oh well, I pay for half of the bills, which is usually not the case, or half or a portion. You should say a portion, right? But again, it goes back to, well, you got to ask them too. Okay, are you a feminist, right? And then there's different classes of feminists that they don't even know about, because there are pro-sex feminists and then there are anti-sex feminists, all right? And then sometimes some weird other fucking deviations of that, all right? So let's see here. So yeah, it's not women's fault that men want sex, right? Whether short-term or long-term, right? Or forever, as the fucking marriage fucking dumb vows say. But what's it called? But it's not men's fault either, right? It's a natural phenomenon, okay? All of life is a bunch of objective phenomenons that can be observable. But humans have the free will, and that free will can also lead to being in denial, okay, of what they observe, right? The emperor has no clothes type of shit, right? So I'm just a kid that says, hey, no, that motherfucker is naked. Let's deal with the fucking truth. Let's just stop this fucking bullshit. And men, you have to lead, because you can't expect the weaker force of the yin and yang, right, to be the one to lead. That's why you don't see many matriarchies that last or ever lasted, because they're not designed to lead. Women don't like to make decisions on average. All right, we like to make, no, we're not saying all. Okay, so if any of you ladies ever say all, you're already showing how demonstrably ignorant you are, because no one ever said all. Even sure, it would be greater for the guy to say, okay, most women, but when we just say, okay, yeah, women do this, we're not saying all, because again, life, the bell curve phenomenon, distribution phenomenon, is doesn't always, yeah, it's never an all situation. Okay, sure, there are obviously there's exceptions to everything. There's probably some exceptions where it does apply to all sometimes, but it's usually that's not the case. Okay, so yeah, so instead of me wasting my time, right, cold approaching a bunch of girls, getting denied, or worse yet, getting accepted, taking them on multiple dates, only for me to say something because their egos are so inflated because of you men, only for them to get upset, right? And then there goes all my time and money. And as a young man, right, who again, most people are not rich, so this is the average man, okay? If you didn't grow up with rich parents, then you don't have time and money to lose chasing women, okay? Because you can lose a lot of money chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing money, okay? They'll deny it. They'll say all kinds of shit. Even in this sugar baby dating environment, they'll say, if I have to ask for anything, I don't want to have to ask for anything. You just have to give, and the more you give, the better our relationship will be. Happy wife, happy life, blah, 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 blah. Okay? You men disgust me more than basically women, because you are the ones that were designed to create the environment, okay? You are you're not the canaries in the coal mine. Yeah, you're just going to have to accept your role and responsibility, okay? So all I'm going to tell you right now is that it can vary. I'm sure I probably could. Okay, so here's the thing. So some people say, oh, those are escorts. It's like, oh my God, yes and no. Just like your girlfriend can start as a de facto escort, but if you guys move in together and you start splitting the bills, right? Then yes, you're not necessarily. She's not an escort or a prostitute, or however you want to view it. Okay. Because there's a lot of men that are not afraid of calling it for what it is. Like, oh yeah, okay, I want sex. She knows that, and she's going to charge me, whether indirectly or not. So, ladies, just because you decide to get paid indirectly through a couple of dates that may amount to the average rate of 300, but if you want to have more success, obviously the higher the more money you spend on the women, the higher your chance of success. Well, it depends on how you approach it. Okay, the way I approach it, again, I know I have success because I will not fork over that money unless we have a deal, okay? They have to agree to kissing, giving and receiving oral protection, or giving and receiving oral, right, with protection, and cuddling for 10 to 15 minutes, right? Because there's that other kind of energy that is transferred from just our bodies touching without having to penetrate or whatever, right? So of course we're gonna penetrate, but I'm just saying, all right? So 500. We'll put it right here. Come on. 500 is the sweet spot, okay? So now I have to preface this too. This is based on, let me put some here in some notes. I would say you have to be at least a 7 and above, which usually means you have a decent face and a decent body, all right? Above in face and body. And of course, you have to have the money, right? So that's a given because you're agreeing to $500, all right? I'm telling you, I live in Portland, Oregon. I was attempting to Colorado, so I got a couple girls in Colorado, and now I'm in Florida, okay? And yeah, I haven't seen a break of that pattern for the most part. I'm sure in the East Coast it might be a little higher because a couple of girls that have moved from the East Coast down here to Florida, they're saying, oh yeah, I was used to 800. Because yeah, you got Wall Street people up there, right? The East Coast was the first part that was developed in America, therefore that's where a lot of the money is at. And I'm sure in certain parts of California, it's the exact same thing. And of course, in certain parts of Florida here, especially Miami, it's probably going to be more into the 800 areas because you have guys with a lot more money. But I'm telling you, we always deal with the rule, not the exception. So, and I have messaged many hundreds and hundreds of girls, right, and gotten quotes from them, and I'll provide pictures. Again, I'm going to provide receipts. I'm a heavy documenter, as you will see my channel unfold, because I don't fuck around. All right, so this is a per, which they call per meet, pay per meet, you know. So 500 is the sweet spot. So, and of course, I think some of them, when you meet most of them, you can negotiate. I have negotiated a couple of them down, and also some of them you can probably talk to them like, look, I want to buy in bulk. So, okay, instead of 500, I'm gonna 300, because they're like, okay, because I don't know, it's just like, how to explain this. Because a lot of girls don't know how to do math. I'm telling you. That's why I'm making this video too. And it's for a lot of you men too who haven't done the math. I mean, you know you're worth more, but do the fucking math. Like that fucking one guy in in Eastern Europe, that black guy. He's funny. Do the math. Do the. I forgot how he spelled it, but yeah, do the math. All right. Now, and so let's see here. So for me, I say the ideal is, oh shit, the ideal sustainable healthy sex rate is every 2 to 3 days, but I will say 3, even though that's here's the gray area, the nuance, right? What makes it complicated is that if you're gonna have the same sugar baby, right, the same girl, whatever, just like any normal, in a quote unquote normal relationship, whatever, it's still fucking, it's still a sugar baby daddy type of shit, whatever. It's just whatever. It's just prostitution, right? It's the oldest profession. And ladies and men too, I don't use that as a pejorative or as a negative, or have a negative connotation in it. Okay, I actually have more respect for these girls than I do the regular girls that play with your emotions and all this other bullshit. Okay, and still end up charging you. Okay. So, and there are women that I'm going to find, that I have found, and I will be clipping the videos, that will I'll be honest about this shit, that they fucked their husbands, because they wanted a refrigerator, right? So anyways, the point is, that's why I say long-term monogamy is not sustainable, okay? So even in a regular relationship or whatever, you're gonna, the sex is going to dwindle, okay? I wish I copied that meme. I might have screenshot it, but it was a screenshot of condoms. It was like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 rows of condoms, right? And they were all obviously connected together, in columns. And then it says sex in your 20s, right? And each condom said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Sex every day. And then in your 30s, sex like once a week, right? And then in your 40s, it was once a month. And then in your 50s, it was like once every year, right? To demonstrate the truth that on average, the sex is going to dwindle, right, in relationships, okay? So even though she wants 500 per meet, right, especially for men like me who already had variety, and I get bored. Basically, I'm telling you, man, I get bored of them after 3 or 4 times, all right? That's just what it is. And sometimes because it's back to back, But again, that's why you want a rotation. Anyways, the point is, this is going to dwindle, but just for the sake of some simple math, right? All right, so this is what I did. So 365 days divided by 3 days, sex every 3 days, you get 121 sex sessions per year. Okay, 121 sex sessions per year times 500 equals a. Let me put a yearly. Okay. Because we can extrapolate it into yearly or whatever. Let's see here, sex months. Okay, 6,500. And you're gonna see how it's all. Let's see here. How can I do this? I'm gonna do two things here. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go like this. We're gonna put. Actually, we can put it right here. Actually, I forgot. So here we go. Based on having sex every 3 days. Okay. Now we could make up a number for how that's going to dwindle down in time. So I would say you would probably notch it down to like half. But again, see, this is why this is also a formula or a template, right? Because certain men, they will, it's just like I tell you, okay, we both may, let's say me and another person, we both may like pizza, but person A, right, the other person may like pizza so much that it can eat it for a month straight, versus I can only eat it for 2 weeks before I'm just fucking completely disgusted by it. But remember, it's not because the pizza's no good. It's because, again, this is one of life's phenomenons, right? Variety is the spice of life. We need variety, okay? So this is being gracious here, right? A lot of these numbers we're kind of being gracious, okay? So let's quantify this one right here. Well, actually, we can do it right here. Duh. That's why I love spreadsheets, all right? Ladies, you got to get your fucking your shit on spreadsheets, all right? You got to get your shit on spreadsheets. All right, let's go here. Insert row, because we're also trying to get some kind of number to total equals all right, so cleaning, okay, that's monthly. All right, this will be based per week, right? But remember, ladies, what if I don't care about the cooking? All right, what if I don't care about the cleaning? I can do it myself, right? What if I don't care about the surrogacy? And of course, I won't need babysitting, because if I don't want the kid, okay, so that's why I say ultimately what you're looking for is a salary of this. But again, because the guy's gonna get bored of it, and if it is, we make it, obviously we make this, obviously, or he chooses to be like, no, this is fine. Since it's transactional, since money is involved, I'm gonna just hire you for half a year or a quarter of a year, or whatever, just rent you like I do with them, right? And whether they leave or not doesn't matter, because I have all the girls on rotation, right? Had I not talked politics, had I not had respect for myself and a bunch of other stuff, I would have never lost a lot of these sugar babies. That's all it was, and some of them weren't. Well, I'm not gonna get into it, all right, because I'm gonna ramble on. All right, so cleaning, so that's monthly, 380 times 12. Oh yeah, of course. Duh, fuck, what am I doing here? I already got the formula here, okay? All right. So right here, I'm just being generous, okay? Now, here's the thing, because we got one time here, okay? One time, what is the average price to hire a surrogate?
According to Family Inceptions, the average cost of surrogacy in the state of Florida is $110,000 to $200,000. It's a wide range, we understand. Surrogate costs may differ due to various reasons.
See, here it says 45K, right? Last time I looked at it, it was somebody said something about 75K. Here, the average arrangement, depending on individual arrangements, again, exactly. In states like Florida, surrogates are in high demand, and exactly, it's all relative. Okay, so let's see, surrogacy lawyer cost. Okay, the fuck? Huh. Okay. I wonder if if this is including this cost too. Okay. Why is surrogacy so expensive? That's all relative, man. If you got lots of stupid money, that's fucking nothing. Okay. Is it cheaper to adopt or have a surrogate? Yeah, see, and I can adopt too. So if I don't want, anyway, surrogate sales cost average of 75 grand. Okay. So who do we believe, right? So of course,
change your seating.
Of course, since I'm in Florida, we'll just say we'll give it a gracious 110 grand. Okay. All right. How much does it cost for a babysitter?
Here is information from Sitter City.
Okay, so we'll see. We should always go with the U.S. national average. Why? Because of that, right? And so they do it per hour. So this is where again it gets complicated, because a baby, right? If so I guess if the mom's with the baby 24/7, and she probably is, right, for I forgot how many years before they end up. Let's see. So we'll put it right here for now. 1750. We'll put it here. Notes. National average is 1750. We'll just say 18. Fuck it. Per. We're like, well, that's not accurate. I know the guy's gonna be like, oh, I'm just making it simple, right? 50 cents is not necessarily going to kill you. Sure, it does add up, but whatever. All right, so, okay. When do kids start kindergarten?
September 1st, according to some information I found on Education Week.
Minimum age kindergarten entrance is 4 years old, 7 months before the first day. Okay. All right, so 5 years. So at 5 years old, okay. The thing with babysitting is that, okay, when the father gets up in the middle of the night, obviously he's clocking in and she's clocking out. So, see, this is where it gets very hard to quantify, and it would get very annoying, because, yes, you would have to be, you would have to have the spreadsheet and updating all the time, or so the app would have to be developed that would, let's say, you would put a fucking RFID, unpowered RFID, so that when you have, because, mostly you're going to have your phones while you're carrying your kids, right? We're always carrying our phones because, obviously it's a portal to the world, all right? So whether you're using it for further your education or distract your entertainment or whatever, that's on you. But I'm saying, if the man got up, he had his phone with him or his watch, right? And the watch says, oh, he's carrying the baby, he's clocked in, right? It would start quantifying it, so that it would spit out a number of how much value he put into it, versus the wife. So this is where, again, this is where it's just going to get very fucking complicated. Let's see. We could say, okay, how about a nanny, right? What is the average cost of a nanny per year? And of course, that's going to fucking
According
fluctuate.
to Babylist, as mentioned, the average hourly rate for a nanny is $18.66, which nets out to a yearly salary of approximately $38,000.
Okay, again, just for the sake of moving forward, let's just put that in there, okay? But again, this is only going to be for about 5 years. All right. Now, obviously, if the woman gets pregnant again, it's going to be a different story. So, some women would do that strategically, or because they know it's better for biologically wise, whatever. Okay. So we'll just simplify it with that, and that's why you're saying why it's been taking me a while, because I'm like, fuck. So I'm so fatigued from doing so much numbers from all my businesses, taxes, pro formas, all this shit, man. I'm telling you right now, I definitely need, I'm definitely taxed in my head when it comes to numbers. Okay. So yeah. So once the kid goes to kindergarten, right? This will change. Okay, so this is basically, again, this is saying that these are changing numbers. So you can't, these are all changing numbers, right? Nothing in this universe is static, all right? Even rocks at the molecular level are moving in very fast speed. Okay, so for the sake of purpose, we're gonna say that a woman's worth is about 113,000. Now again, for me, because I don't need the cooking, I don't need the cleaning, I don't need the kid's gonna be separate. I'm gonna make girls give me their number, and I'm sure it's probably gonna be in the 75K range. again, as I make more money, it won't necessarily matter. But again, I just like with these girls, I make them give me a price, because when you give them a price, again, that's why I said 500 is the sweet spot, because I know that I lost certain girls because to them I lowballed them, but they didn't understand that they're engaged in the business, because they don't. Oh no, this is not a business. No, it's like you want money, you're engaged in the business. Okay, you are independent contractor, freelancer, whatever the fuck you want to, however you want to fucking label it. You are in business. You want money. You want compensation for a service. You are a service provider. You're providing a service, right? You're in business. So it's negotiable. Okay, that's why there's not that many successful businesswomen, because they don't like confrontation. And negotiating is a form of confrontation. Okay, so, but the girl, fucking one of the hottest girls I ever had, and because she had the fucking sweetest tasting pussy ever. Seriously, it was sweet tasting, beautiful. It was like a beautiful mango nectar. I'm just saying it was sweet tasting. It didn't taste like mango, but I'm saying it was sweet. There was a sweet taste to it, and I call it nectar because it had kind of like, obviously it was a jelly, lubricantly like, secretion. She cost me $250. And the other girl that I had living with me, she would just turn 19. This beautiful young Puerto Rican girl. Of course, we all of us guys love young, fertile young girls, right? she was definitely skinny, and that was my issue with her. Apart other shit, that's why I had to get rid of her. But she also, at the very last moment when I was about to just quit it, because I was hitting my financial limit, my budget that I set, because again, I'm still. The less money I spend on women, the faster I compound it. But obviously, once you understand, when you see my holistic health presentation, you understand that to be at your optimum, to be in your optimum zone, you need a consistent source of sex. Okay, like conversation with God would talk about. The reason why we invented marriage is because men wanted a consistent source of sex and companionship, and it's not 50-50. Okay, it's more like an 80-20 rule, and not 90-10. Right, and women needed support and survival. Obviously, women now, because of technology and stuff, women don't need us as much. They need us indirectly, because obviously we're the ones managing the fucking water purification centers, the farming, fixing the machines that farm, building the machines that farm, delivering the machines that farm, right? Driving the trucks, delivering the food that's been farmed, or the animal that has been killed and slaughtered, or whatever, field dressed, whatever, prepped, right? We're the ones unstocking the trucks at the grocery store. Obviously, some women are stocking the shelves because now they're out of the small box and they can use dollies or whatever, right? All I'm saying is that they need us indirectly as much. They don't need us directly as much, and as long as they have a 9-to-5 job and they can make a minimum survivor wage. Because I tell these girls, yeah, you don't need us. You'll survive, but you won't thrive without us, right? And that's why they're in a sugar baby sites, right? Even though you could ask them, they're like, oh, I'm smart, strong, and independent, isn't that? Okay, so why aren't you getting your own money? Then why charge men for money and therefore be making yourself a de facto prostitute? Okay, so it's not your fault that men want sex from you, but it is within your power to say, hey, no, you give me an orgasm and I give you an orgasm and we are equal. None of this, oh, you have to give me an orgasm and you have to give me money. Whereas the man is like, okay, I have to give you money and fucking orgasm, okay? So talk about so-called equality. Again, this is why I don't like women. Not because they're women, but because they are hypocritical, okay? And of course, yes, you in your 20s, while you have the sexual power, when you have one of the 5 strengths that humans have, right? We're gonna put it right here, okay? So, human strengths, because sometimes there's something powerful about putting things right in front of your face, okay? So there is physical, intellectual, right? Financial, sexual, it was reproductive and sexual. Okay, so who has these strengths. Men. I've spelled that wrong. Financial men. And you're like, no, we're the ones that decide to have the. Yes. But it's only from about fucking the time that you believe. Let's look that up again. What is the average age that women start to menstruate? I think it's in the teens. Because
according to Kids Health, most girls get their first period when they're between 10 and 15 years old. The average age is 12, but every girl's body has its own schedule.
See, okay, the average age is 12, but 13, you could say 14, because again, we'll say 14 because, again, certain sources of mine that you can look up the Father of Holistic Health, Eric Casey, right? The body reproduces every cell every 7 years, right? All of life goes in cycles. I mean, even fucking the cold virus has a cycle. That's why most people get it in wintertime. So, anywho, so we'll say 14 to 35. Okay. Is women's window. So what are you looking at here? So that is. Okay, Kate responding back. See, I'm telling you, man. Wait till you see all the evidence I have of dealing with all these fucking women. Oh my god, especially recently, man. I've perfected it in a sense. And obviously, the more money I have, dude, the more easier it is. It's just beautiful. Anyway, okay, so there's a 21-year window. Now, of course, since the laws have changed, like, ew, that's gross. Like, no. Back in the day, again, historically ignorance, that's where you're showing your historical ignorance, ladies or men. For some of you men that are like, oh, I love women, I'm going to protect them and be the white knight and blah, 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 whether they deserve it or not because I'm a fucking fat slob and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, so we actually, so I think it's 35. Right? When is geriatric pregnancy?
According to parents, traditionally, a geriatric pregnancy is one that occurs anytime a woman is over the age of 35.
So there you go, exactly. Over the age of 35, okay? So if you go from, that's why I did from 35, so that's 21-year window. If we went with God's law, okay, so back to the historically, right? There was a time in certain parts of the world, and even now, that if a girl wasn't pregnant by basically about 13, because we only live to about 35, okay, or 30s, if not earlier, back then it was considered questionable, like what the fuck's going on, okay? Obviously the shit has changed because we have delayed adulthood and a bunch of other stuff, all right? But so now let's go with today's modern time, minus 18, right? From 18, when you're okay, so you have a 17-year window. Okay, so we'll create a. See, I do a separate row just to put that. Okay, so from 18 to 35. And of course, why would you want to push it though? All right, so you have a 17-year window. Okay. Now, when you have shit like, for example, what's his name, Mel Gibson, fucking having a kid with a 21-year-old girl. All right. What's it called? I gotta figure this out. Like, see. When is it recommended for men not to have children?
Here is some information for what age should men have kids. According to your fertility, men younger than 40 have a better chance of fathering a child than those older than 40. The quality of the sperm men produce seems to decline as they get older. Most men make millions of new sperm every day, but men older than 40 have fewer healthy sperm than younger men.
Okay, but the sperm is still there, and we see rich men still having kids, right? Older rich men having kids with girls in their 20s, if not in their early 30s, okay? Because if they're smart, they're not gonna take the risk of having a baby with a woman in her fucking 30s, okay? Or mid 30s and above, all right? So So this is too general, right? But we have, let's see, men were raised for increase the risk of miscarriage. Da, 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 da. Age affects his ability to conceive. Okay, and also for men, just like women to a certain degree, it all depends on your health. How you take care of your health. The reason why we probably have this average because again, the bell curve, right? Most men, just like most women, are gonna let themselves go. But for those few exceptional men, and I know I'm one of them, because most people think I'm 26 when I'm 37, right? And I understand the human body more than anybody else, and I'm paying attention to all the people who are making discoveries on how to lengthen life, and it's already being lengthened anyways. All right, yeah, we can produce for a very long time. That's why I give the men win in the reproductive strength because we can pollinate many girls, whereas you ladies can basically have one or two, or sometimes like those rare cases of the women with the septuplets or whatever the fuck, but that was because of fucking fertility drugs, and so you're messing with nature, right? So we don't do any messing around with nature for the most part, right? Men win that thing. So obviously women have that. Now of course, women have that because of lack of male sexual discipline. So I gotta find that screenshot I took about this one woman that said that if men were like women, sexually disciplined, women would have to value it, and so we would basically have all of these strengths, men. Okay, this is what I'm trying to make this video for. Have some motherfucking discipline, man. Some of you just want to fucking punch the fucking shit out of you, man. Like, oh my god, but I know sometimes violence is gonna make some of you idiots, double down on your fucking insanity. Like, no, I'm gonna fucking, I'm gonna protect women even more because I don't want to be wrong, so fuck you, and you told me what to do. Da, 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 da. It's like, all right, well, fuck it, all right? So ultimately, what I can do is just like breathe and be like, okay, trust in what I've seen, right? Of how many men are living miserable lives because they don't have sexual discipline, they don't have a fucking spine, their women's cheating on them, they're exploiting them financially, right? Sexually or financially through sexual means, and so be it. You're the one's going to be the cuck. You're the ones raising other man's kids. You're the one working yourself to death. You men die earlier than men. Men die earlier than women because you're fucking weak. All right. So I know us exceptional men. I may die because I'm doing something greater for society, but if I just really be selfish, I know I can live beyond the average age that women fucking die. Okay. So again, we already know that men with money, whatever, right? So now, obviously, for men, okay, this can be okay. So let's see. How much do men make on average? See, this is at every age because it will change. All right, so here let's look at this, right? Let's it was what percentage are you? Okay, this is based on 2014 data, but trust me, it has not changed, okay? So let's see, 50% of people make about almost 50K. So let's see, what did it say? You are 1% of the 99K. Oh wait, hold on. Oh yeah, 18%, okay. So, there we go. See how it's on an exponential scale? Too, ladies, and hopefully you understand what that means. All right. Okay, hold on. Let's put men. Okay. All right. So, $33,000. Good. I wish they did. See, $33,000. Let's put for females. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. 50th. 50th. What the fuck does that mean? Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. So that's the thing. Okay, so there we go. 50%, 34%. All right, so how do I explain this here? We know that obviously men make more women on that, right? The whole $70 per dollar, whatever the fuck. Because obviously women don't select the jobs that pay more because they're more dangerous. Okay, on one hand, you can't blame them. Again, see, this is what I'm saying, ladies. I'm not taking sides. Yes, because your value is mainly derived out of your sexual appeal, right? Therefore, yes, you doing dangerous jobs that may hurt your beautiful face, cut your beautiful hand off, or whatever, scar your skin, beautiful skin, or whatever. Yes, you're not going to do those jobs, right? Therefore, you're not going to earn as much money. All right, but let's see. Can we just take out sex out of it? Okay, so the average percent. See, 100% of people? No. Da, 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 da. Shit, let's see. How to fucking phrase this? How much money? How much money do men make on average per year?
According to Catalyst, women earned 82.3% of what men earned in 2019, based on the real median earnings for full-time, year-round workers. This has risen from 60.2% in 1980. Women earned a median of $47,299 annually in 2019, and men earned $57,456.
Okay, so we can say $57,000. All right. They're bringing in more of the bacon. Now protection. All right, now let's get into the protection, okay? The trump card that kind of basically beats all this other shit. How much is a full-time bodyguard?
According to Thumbtack, the national average cost for bodyguard protection is $20 to $30 per hour. However, a bodyguard can cost anywhere from $75 per hour for one guard at a one-day private event to $150 per hour for executive protection that may require bodyguards on site 24/7.
Okay, so I see 24/7. Now this is where it gets complicated again, because women could say, well, if he's not around me, he's not protecting me, blah, 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 blah. Right? Now this doesn't say anything about, is the bodyguard willing to die for you? All right. Let's see. Are bodyguards expected to die for their client? See, they have to be able to convince the client they were risk serious, whatever, right? So what would be the price? A typical bodyguard, security, law enforcement. Yeah, see. So since we also have law enforcement that's saying, hey, we're willing to put ourselves at risk, how much do law enforcement guys make? How much does the average police officer make? Okay, and so that's where you can, the whole, well, how can you put a price on life? It kind of does have a price on life. Okay, so national average of a wage police is 67, according to a little over 50. Okay, so 67,600. Okay, so we can say, okay, see, even though a private bodyguard, see, this is where one of those things where a fucking fireman, again, that's saving lives, just like a surgeon saving lives, is not making as much money as a fucking entertainer that wouldn't be able to save your life, doesn't even have the skills to save your life, or maybe those rare cases where some of them expand their skill sets beyond their stupid profession. But okay, so let's see here, row, and this is why you would have to, especially after Make My App, you would have to fucking do it, because yes, in life, fucking things change, right? Things are constantly changing. So you would have to keep a ledger, right? Keep a ledger of value. 22. Okay. So see, we're already at 124. So let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see, difference. Difference equals men minus women. All right, so there's already a $10,000 difference. Okay. Now again, remember, if because she's going to be providing sex in bulk, this 500 number can really, you know. So see again, this is, let's play with it, right? Let's say the girl that I liked, I continued for 250 period, right? Or I find multiple of them at 250 period, right? What does that bring us down to? Oh shit, hold on. Okay, I gotta do the formula here then. So that it does it over here as I play with it. Okay, so yeah, it's 121. So it'd be this times this. But again, are you really going to be doing it 3 times per year? I mean, sorry, 3 times per day. Sorry, 3 times. Are you going to be having sex with her every 3 days? Because we know it's going to fucking dwindle down. So this number is a number that will be going down, ladies. Okay, now look, now we have a $40,000 difference already. Okay? Again, this can fluctuate anywhere from 75 to 110 or even 200, right? Depending on what pocket you are, right? Especially how hot the girl thinks she is. And I'm telling you right now, most of the surrogate women are not that pretty. Okay, so you got to pay a premium, and yeah, premium girls like, well, I'm gonna fuck up my body. It's like, you don't really fuck up your body, really, right? And of course, since you're not gonna have the kid the way, you know, since surrogacy, you're gonna give it to me. It doesn't. You're not gonna be a single mom that nobody really wants to date. They'll just want to smash and dash because they don't want to take care of another guy's seed. All right, so, and if you don't have a C scar or whatever, look, the point is, even if you have a C-section, right? The guy said, "Oh, wait, don't you have a kid? You have a C-section." You can say there was a miscarriage, it died, or I did surrogacy, so it's not, you know, I don't have the custody of the kid, therefore you will not be responsible for this kid. Therefore, the guy's like, "Okay, cool, you know, I'll be one of those guys." Okay, you know. And I have seen some super hot moms that, again, I'd be like, no, just like these girls, right? Like, look, I don't not want to shop with you, none of this shit, right? But like, look, I'm paying you this amount, take it or leave it, right? So, you know, I definitely have fucked up a couple of hot moms where I'm just like, fuck, like I should have just, you know, did it on PPM, you know, and just call it a day. You know, I definitely kind of some regret some of these hot moms. Like, look, you know, it's like, I'm not planning to marry you anyways. So it doesn't matter about your kid, right? I just can't play with them depending on the state, because I've seen now that certain states have been forcing men that have in some form or fashion acted as sort of like a dad. Basically, for example, if the girl says, "Oh, can you take my kids to their baseball game?" and he does that because he's trying to be nice, she can go to the court, right, and say, "Hey, he took my kids to this and he did this, this, and that." Of course, he's like, "Oh, you're acting like a father. You got to pay child support." How fucking ridiculous are we as a society? It is so fucking ridiculous. Now, of course, sex means zero to them, right? Because we got to pay. Sperm means zero to them. That's why we produce so many. That's why sperm mean nothing. We're not doing babysitting. Now, of course, if we cook, right? Or let's say dates. Let's see. I would say, you know, the weekends are reserved for the days. So, you know, Friday and Saturday, you got 2 of them. So 2 activities. You're looking at about $100. So 200. So we're looking at 200. Okay, hold on. How does that work? So there are 365 days in a year. 365 divided by 7, that means 52 weeks. So 52 weeks, and out of those 52 weeks, there are 2 days. So times 2. So 104, I think, and hopefully I'm doing this right. So equals 104 times 200. So you're looking at about, and that's not even counting vacations and all this other stuff. So you're looking that he's going to be forking over a value of, because he's paying for dates, right? Which means the eating out. All right, cleaning. See, this is where it can vary. Because if you live in a house and he's doing the, let's see, if living in a house, if he cuts the grass, because the grass takes the garbage out. See, again, it's so hard to quantify. But again, it is quantifiable if you compartmentalize stuff. Let's see here. Make that money. Okay. So, but that's a police. Let's see. Let's put a note here. So no, 7K is police rate. Okay. Just like, oh, well, this can be, you know, I'm worth 200 grand, so therefore, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, well, you may be able to put that sticker price on that car for 200 grand, but if no buyer buys it at 200 grand, it's not worth 200 grand, ladies. Just like these girls, right? Some girls quoted me fucking, you know, when anytime they quote me, well, even when they quote me $500, I'm like, no. I paid 500 girls for certain girls, and what ended up happening, as beautiful as they were, whatever, their pussies were loose, or they fucking had a stinky pussy, or they had a type 3 pussy, which is after you beat it up, like there's no smell, there's no bad smell or anything like that. But once you start fucking it, and then you tell her to sit on your face, her fucking shit stinks, you know. So yeah, I'm like that. When that happens, like, no, why am I gonna pay you 500 when I have a girl that I'm paying 300, 350, 250, whatever, and her pussy doesn't fucking taste like anything. So it doesn't taste like anything, or it fucking tastes amazing, right? There's no smell in it, and it's fucking tight or decently tight. You know, I'm not fucking, doesn't feel like I'm fucking some, I don't know, a very loose hole. So, you know, just, so that's why I laugh. I'm like, nah, like, I think 300 is ideal to test, right? And then, you know, because you want to keep them around or whatever, or somehow surprise them. I do tip them if they're on time, right? They're communicating. They like I flew out my Colorado girl to Portland because she was running late, but she sent me proof of what was going on without me having to ask her. I was like, oh my god! And then on top of it, she fucking reached out to me. Most of these girls always wait for you to call them, and she reached out to me. I was like, okay, there you go. That's how it should be, right? These girls lose out a lot because they still try to play by the same fucking rules they play with fucking broke ass dudes. And it's like, okay, fine. Again, my value is going up, their value is going down, but they fucking don't want to accept that, and so they must reap the consequences, right, of the seeds that they sowed. They must reap those consequences, and that is either A, being alone and still miserable, right, or settling with a broke ass dude that they will treat like shit. And I see it all the fucking time. These only within the context of relationships is the employer the fucking employee, right? Where the employer is treated like the employee, right? And men, pussy's not a gun, so that's completely on fucking you. Sure, it's not cool for them to do it, but it's on you. You have the power, right? Here, look at this, right? You see this? You have most of the fucking power, right? Especially as you get older, and if you didn't waste, or you balance your time, or just, I guess, hyper-focused on yourself and your mission and your purpose, as these guys like to say, right? You have the fucking power. Okay, you have the long-term value. Okay, so if you allow women to mistreat you, that's all on fucking you. Okay, and I say this in a kind of an upset voice because it messes with my environment too. Okay, so all right, so now of course, so babysitting, if he takes part of that thing, since, you know, women talk 50-50, okay, then let's split this. See, so as you can see here, how how it's a dynamic thing, and even though you put these numbers on there, these, as if things are static. No, they're not. So let's say he is going to split. Let's say because men usually have to pay most of the bulk of the resource, have to bring more money. Like the studies show that women want men to make at least 50% more. They want equal, but let's keep it honest. They don't want equal. They want a man who is superior to them in many different contexts. So the study that shows that women want men to earn 50% of what they earn, and of course you're not going to earn that money without having to put some work. Only a few exceptions. All right. We could split this $38,000. We'll split it as a quarter for the man and three quarters for a woman. Okay, so let's do that number, right? So $38,000 times 0.75 is for women, so that is actually more like 28,500. Okay. And for the man, babysitting times 2.5, that's more like 9,500. Okay. Now, even with this price though, right? Okay, so here's the thing. If you're living together, right, and you have to stop to go to work, right, even though you're valued as supposedly at this, right? You're obviously the woman that is getting paid this. If she was separate, okay, she's taking this money and paying for her rent and her cost of living and stuff like that. But if you're living with the man, this would have to be compensated, or what he's paying for the rent, and of course that can fluctuate, right? I mean, whatever, that can vary from couple to couple depending where you live, right? That would have to be factored in into your payment. So this would basically, what I'm trying to say here is that this number would be a lot less if if you live together and you actually had to pay your fair share half, right? Because you had to go out, you had to leave work, right? Temporarily, whatever. Some women, whatever. It depends on the woman, right? Some like, no, just don't want to work. Periods. I don't have any stress. Some women's like, okay, I'll work until I don't know the fucking second semester or whatever the fuck, right?
Eat next meal. Eat next meal. Eat.
Okay, I gotcha. Whatever the fuck, So, again, this is why it can be complicated unless you do the hard numbers. And of course, most people, again, just like taxes, it is fucking. As you can see, my head's kind of well, that's because I'm a tax with numbers. I usually love doing these numbers, and I'm actually happy doing this because I wanted to do this video so much because I've been responding to so many videos. Because basically what I'm trying to say here is. There's another way to title this video too, is like basically take everything. Okay, so how do I phrase that? If men and women had to outsource everything that they get from each other, right? The services and goods and services that they're trading. Well, there really is no goods really sometimes. Well, yeah, there is, because if a guy buys you a necklace, right, that's a certain amount of money too, right? But the question is, what is he expecting for that amount of investment or money being given, right? And it usually means more sex, might be anal, might be whatever, it's all kinds of shit, So that's what I'm saying. I have more respect for women who put a value on the sex, because the other way, they really finesse you. Basically, marriage. Okay, and again, it's sometimes not women's fault because this is what they've been told what it is, and some men too. If you're the kind of man, no, I need to provide. I'll feel demasculated if she pays her half, and that's not gentlemanly, and that's not a masculine, that's not a true alpha, and blah 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 blah. And then they're bitching if they fucking sign a marriage contract or they move in together, and she fucking baits and switches them and says like, no, I don't want to work anymore. It's just oh my god, trust me. I'm just as mad at men as I am with women, because it takes two to tango, and men, you are the ones that are allowing to create this toxic environment for you to fucking be pillaged, okay? All right, so now that we kind of balance things out, now of course, again, if in your relationship, right, the woman says, no, I'm going to take care of it 100%, I'm the one getting up at night, I'm the one going to get up at night because I know you have a hard, stressful job, and you need your full night's rest, so you can't take care of the kid, blah, 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 yada, 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 right? There's just so many factors. But look, already what we're seeing here, right? He's bringing in $154,000. Because remember, most people don't have kids right away either, and especially now. Okay, and then even then, right now, factoring that most millennials and whatever bullshit generation after the fact are not having kids, they're having dogs and shit like that because they can't afford a fucking kid, right? Or don't want the stress of having a kid because look what you're gonna have to pay babysitters and fucking all this other shit, and, right? What is it, like $250,000 for each kid on average? Let's see. How much does it cost to raise a child till the time they're 18? Oh, let's see. Okay.
Here's a summary from the Plutus Foundation.
There you go.
The USDA puts the cost of raising a child from birth to age 18 at $233,610 for a middle-income family, around $12,980 per year.
Okay, so there you go, right? So, of course, that is split, right? Sometimes, like, okay, so let me give you an example. My parents, whether it was spoken or not or whatever, doesn't fucking matter, right? Because actions speak louder than words. Their arrangement was, right, let's use the sugar baby terminology, their beneficial arrangement or beneficial, whatever, arrangement, relationship structure, contract, whatever the fuck you want, agreement, whatever you want to call it, right? My dad paid for the mortgage and the utilities, and my mom paid for the food and our clothing, okay? That was how they divvied up the thing. Was it equal? Hell the fuck no. And of course, because on average, right, men make more. My dad made a lot more money than my mom made, so they couldn't be fucking 50-50 anyways, because my mom would be in debt to men, as I'm showing you right here. Okay, let's just stop right here. You see, as I said, if you did the averages and whatnot, and this is being very gracious. This is being very gracious, right? Especially for a woman that wants a man like me, which I'm making right now, scheduled to make, and especially, here's the thing, that's the thing. These sugar babies don't understand sometimes, or women in general. I've now got into the multifamily real estate. If I can get one contract before the end of this year, because it takes about at least 3 months minimum to fucking get a deal done, right? Okay, let me show you the math right here, right? So let's see. So $10 million, because when you get into $20 million assets, multifamily real estate assets, you're competing with institutional buyers, and they move quickly because they got stupid money from investors, okay? From other investors who have stupid money, and they don't give a fuck if they lose that money. It means nothing to them, okay? So $10 million, right? Let's say a conservative, we'll say 4%, because in the first deal, I'll structure me as an asset manager, all right, 0.04. That's $400,000, okay? $400,000. On top of it, I get quarterly dividends from the rent collected, okay? On top of it. So throughout that year too, right, not only will I get this one-time finder's fee, right, acquisition fee for $400,000, all right, but I also collect quarterly dividends, and that can vary, which is usually, I think you said something about $75,000 a year, right? $75,000 a year. So that's, yeah, 75, we'll just say $75,000 a year, so plus 400,000, okay? Plus I have my crypto investment, which is compounding at about an average of 20%. So that's compounding, so that's even changing every fucking month, right? I'm making more even for fucking money, right? All right, so let's just say, fuck it, let's just say $400,000 for a man like me. Look at how much, oops. Look at how much debt you're already, the difference is, okay? And also, right, even if we go back to the 500 mark, right, for every three, why would I pay one woman $60,000, right? Because like I said, like, I don't need all this other shit, right? Why would I pay one woman $60,000 when I can have an endless variety? I already proved it. Remember, I already proved it. Okay, I could have continued with all of these girls, right? I can fly them out, all this other shit, right? I'm acquiring new ones all the time, right? I sent hundreds of messages. You know, the girl with the sweet pussy juice that elevated the pussy game to a whole new level. Again, at the end of the day, all I care is that it doesn't smell, doesn't taste like anything. And it's tight, okay? But I'm saying she created a whole new level. She changed the game in my specific world. All right, she changed the game. What's it called? What the fuck was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm kind of tired. Because I slept. I didn't go to sleep till like 3 in the morning last night. Woke up kind of early because I was getting text and whatnot. yeah, why would I, when I can have basically an endless buffet for the most part. I can have a different girl every 2 to 3 days, right, at this price. Endless variety. And if they leave me, big deal. Again, some of the girls I really like, so I'll fucking, I'll call them 2 times this in the same week, right? It all depends. And that's the thing, too. As I'm trying these girls out, too, right, there are certain girls that I'm just going to be able to vibe with, too, because I tell these girls, sex gets your foot in the fucking door, but your personality is what makes me want to call you back more often than not. I'm still going to get bored of you even if you have a great personality, right? Because again, like I tell women and men, right? When you listen to the conversation we got, all stuff on relationships and everything else, right? Look, no matter how good you are to me or how good I am to you, we are both sexual beings and we're going to want different sexual partners because we need different sexual nourishment. Just like you don't get all your vitamins, nutrients, enzymes, everything that you need from one specific food source, right? Exact same thing with sexual energy. You just, I don't care about you girls crying about it or some of you men too who think you can be monogamous forever. Deal with it. This is the fucking reality. Okay? The reason I was upset because so many of you fucking bring kids into the world, which you shouldn't be raising. That's not necessarily your fault, but you shouldn't be raising them, and you create the next generation of degenerates, basically. All kinds of problems that you cause. You cause turmoil. You prevent from creating heaven on earth. That's what I'm trying to say here for the most part. Okay? So yeah. So yeah, I mean, so that's what I'm saying. This is a template that I'm going to further refine because, again, because there's got to be a line item for when you cut the grass, right? Some kind of template where it's a ledger that you guys constantly keep track, right? Okay, you had sex with her. Oh, it would have cost you $500 in the market for her level of sexual market value. But again, even that's not the case. Like I said, I had I fucking had a fucking 9 at fucking $250. Because why? Well, she wasn't thinking about it long term. She had a good job. She just needed extra income. So there's that too. There are beautiful girls that have no fucking good job at all. They're trying to make the majority of their money through this shit because it is good money, right? But what they find out is that, again, just like me, just like other men, it's like, okay, not only do they get bored, right, but also the personality suck. That's usually the case. The hotter the woman is, right, as some of these men who have now had it and realize, oh shit, yeah, okay, even though I wanted that, now that I've had it, actually experiencing that, shit, this fuck is not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. I'd rather take a fucking 8 or a 7 that I can enjoy my time outside of the bedroom too, instead of having to fight and deal with entitledness and all this other bullshit. So there's that to contend with too, all right? So that's why that one girl wrote that article about, why do I see all these successful rich men with these, these below average women? I'm so hot, I'm a 10, take care of my body, I know how to dress, blah, 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 blah. And then that Wall Street guy broke it down to her. He's like, look, your beauty is a depreciating asset. So it's not an investment. It's not even an asset. It's a depreciating commodity, okay? So it's not worth the squeeze. But it's not always just all about sex for certain men. Okay, at the end of the day, they're going to want variety anyways, and they can get it. They got the leverage now because they worked on it. All right, and if you have decent looks, it's even like I tell these girls, like, I don't even have to do this shit if you fucking just follow me at a distance and observe women's eyes, because you'll be able to tell in a second that they're fucking attracted to me sexually. Now, of course, if I open my mouth and speak the truth that most women don't want to hear because they're so used to fucking liars and that's all they accept, of course they're going to be rejecting me after that. But on a fucking visceral, primal level, no, they wanted to fucking smash, right? They still may charge me fucking, a couple dinner dates, couple drinks, or whatever the fuck, and then they're going to smash, right? And of course, here's the other thing. If I just go to fucking bars, wait till the very, very end where they're all fucking drunk already, right? And there are beautiful ones that are fucking alcoholics, right? And just hook up for free. I could do that too. I pull up at the closing of a bar. I'll be fucking sober. I didn't spend any money. I pull up in my fucking S5, bro, with the top down, with the red interior, all this shit. Trust me, I could have fucking menage a trois, all this shit. But again, men, your time is very valuable while you're young. Yes, I'm 37, whatever. But to me, that is still young because most men don't hit their financial stride until they're 40, right? And I'm trying to become a billionaire. So before 51, because that's the average age men become a billionaire. Okay, so given all those factors, it's not worth my time. Okay, And of course, now that I'm willing to use condoms, it'll be even more easier for me to go do this shit. But I just hate all that bullshit. Okay, and most women, even if they're not drunk, because of just how it's designed, I am doing most of the work anyways. So I'm just saying, when you factor all these things, it is just best to be a quote unquote trick. To fucking pay these women to fucking leave. You're paying them ultimately to leave, not to stay. If you realize what happens in the long term after the honeymoon period, all she is a liability and a fucking headache. I'm sorry, ladies, for you there's exceptions. If you're great and you understand that, hey, yes, now that you presented these numbers, or before you presented these numbers, I knew that I ain't shit. Okay, relative to a man and the way the world's structured and survival is the main prerogative of all species and every society. Yes, I ain't shit. I should be submitting / cooperating with a man, because if we were in the wild jungle without all these social safety nets and all this other bullshit fucking concepts that created chivalry and blah 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 blah, I would be fucking either killed, beat up, or whatever for fucking for thinking that I bring more value to a man. Right? Because if even if he wasn't abusive, whatever, he just walks out on me in the middle of the jungle, I'm gonna be scared shitless, and I'm gonna go fucking crawling back to him. I'm sorry. Here, take my ass, take my mouth, take my pussy, whatever. Here's my, this is my sister or my friend. I'll share. Both of you would be fucking kissing ass, because even two women, it's gonna be a struggle for you to fucking go kill wild animals and fucking, not be squeamish. I mean, you could develop it if push comes to shove, but most of you would die, as we already see in these examples of Burl Grizzly's Island, Survivor Men versus Women. Also, you would die. That's why most civilizations are patriarchies, because of sexual dimorphism and all this other shit. It just is what it is. Sure, in certain species like the praying mantis, sure, the woman is the fucking thing and blah, 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 blah. But again, exceptions versus the rule does not change the rule. All right, I'm done for now. I think I proved my point here, okay? Yes, there are situations where women make more money and doing more things and blah, 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 this and that. But usually, again, I've seen them. Usually the woman is fat or unattractive or a combination of both, right? And the guy, exact same thing. He ain't shit, right? Or sometimes there are some, I've seen some guys that are actually very attractive, but they're lazy. They're lazy, right? That's why I tell some of these girls sometimes, like, okay, the reason why you're not going to find usually a guy who's a 9 or 10 who has money is because he doesn't have to have the money to get fucking free pussy, right? Because of Tinder, and there's so many fucking girls that believe that they can be equal to men in the sense of having many sexual partners. Therefore, they give it up to these really hot guys, and I know I could be one of those too if I wanted to. But again, it's just fucking. And I may actually start going. At this point, I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Fuck it. I got my bike, right? I got my fucking nice car. I got my truck. I cover lots of different bases. Right, I am the white collar that some girls want to, that like, and I'm also the blue collar that girls like too, because the country girls like the trucks are like, oh shit, he's got a fucking Tundra, right? Oh, he's got a trailer, he knows how to fucking build shit, he's a real man, right? He can change a tire, he can design a house, he can build a house. I guess that's what I'm saying. If you put all these other things that I bring to the table, that's why my money's going to be increasing. It's more than above the average of whatever 50 fucking 67 whatever. What was the average? Let's see. That's why I love the history here. Yeah, more than 57 grand a fucking year. Yeah, I could fucking be pulling women left and right. Okay, so, but again, I'm all here trying to find quality, but still, sometimes you have to go through quantity to siphon out the quality, ladies and gentlemen. I am done for now. There'll be more to come. I hope make this video go viral, guys. Please. I'm gonna be posting it in all these different, mgtow channels. Even though, again, I'm not. You can label me mgtow, whatever the fuck you want. I guess because I am a mgtow, because I never plan on marrying. If you define a mgtow for a guy that will never plan to marry and cohabitate, right? So okay, so therefore I am. Right. That's why the mgtow now has, just like feminism, has two divisions. You got your I guess, well, it's three divisions in a sense. You got red pill. Right, sorry, you got those that are blue pill, those that are red pill, and those that are purple pill, which they're fusing, meaning they're blue pill, meaning they're still willing to deal with women, but the red pill, they're limiting their investment into women, pumping and dumping, or being with her for a couple of years or a couple of months, and then leading on to the next one. Okay, so but again, I'm not really a fan of labels. I like to describe and articulate what we're trying to sum up with a label or a word. Okay. So, all right, now I can upload this shit, and I will probably make this spreadsheet and all those spreadsheets I'm going to be creating, again, especially how to structure a functional, healthy relationship, right? Permanent, even though that's impossible nowadays, seriously. For what we are truly as human, where we're at technologically speaking, socially, politically, and all this other stuff, and just all these factors, no. It's going to be, they're going to be monogamish, meaning you're gonna be with one partner for 2 years, another partner for 3, another partner for 5, or whatever, until both of you are so old that you both have to settle, right? Meaning the average people who make average income, average looks, or even above average looks as they get older, because the looks will fade, right? You will eventually settle down or whatever into your one partner till you die, because both of you can't jump a monkey branch anymore, period. All right, peace out. Hope you guys appreciate it. Please make this go viral. Put it on TikTok. I'm too lazy to put it on TikTok. Put it on Instagram. Put it everywhere. Know your fucking worth, man. Do not settle. Do not compromise. Have some dick control. Discipline yourself, as some of these guys that you follow that you think are your mentors, stuff like that, who are millionaires now, that said that, yeah, I was celibate for fucking whatever, or I didn't jerk off, or no fat for 5 years, whatever the fuck, right? Know your fucking worth, all right? And to be fair, always keep calculating, right? So you cut the grass, what would it, let's see, how much does it cost to cut the grass? For example, let's see, because it's kind of...
Here is information from Lawn Starter.
See, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Where do you live? Do you live in the country, and does your house have an acre, eighth of an acre? See, so you're gonna have to do the hard math, and then finally, when you find the number, right? Let's say some boy comes to your house like, "Hey, mister, I'll cut your grass for fucking $30." And you're like, "Okay, fine." And you know that your grass, grows, once a week or every 2 weeks or whatever the fuck. Now you have a number to play with. Put it on a spreadsheet, and every time you do it, put a ledger. I cut the grass, or I pay for the grass. That was fucking, X amount of dollars, right? Her, same thing. Okay, I gave you sex. Oh, this time I gave you anal. So she's like, okay, pussy, regular pussy sex, or a blowjob is this amount, anal is this amount, pussy is this amount, swallowing your kids is this amount, whatever, ass to mouth is this amount, whatever. Quantify the services you're exchanging so that things are always fair. You buy a couch together, right? Write down who put the down payment, who's paying the fucking the thing, if you're putting it on layaway or whatever, financing or whatever. I'm just saying quantify everything so that at the end, because you're gonna separate, when at the end you can calculate everything out and you can see who owes what. Now, of course, again, on average, you're gonna see men, you're the one or women, you're gonna see you're the one who's gonna have debt. Now, are you gonna be able as a man to extract the debt out of that woman? Most likely not, man. Again, what you give to women is not an investment, it is an expense / liability. The faster you can accept that, I think the faster, the happier you'll be, okay? You cannot own them. They're service providers. Just like if you pay a plumber to do your fucking thing, you do not own that plumber, okay? So yeah, just know that most likely you're going to be in debt. The woman's going to be in debt to you, and you're not going to be able to squeeze blood out of a stone because they don't make that much money, because they're lazy, because you made them lazy, okay? On average, in general. Men, you are the reason why women are the way they are. Starting as a father, you don't tell them, hey daughter, your greatest value is sex. All this other bullshit doesn't really mean anything, because this is what I tell fucking women, or men too, or whatever in general. I'm like, especially women, I'm like, okay, especially married women, okay, continue doing the cooking, the cleaning, the babysitting, whatever, right? Maybe even having the kid, whatever, but stop giving sex, right? Okay, obviously when you have to have the kid, you gotta have sex, but that's it, right? He deposits, you get pregnant, okay, that's it. No more sex after that. Watch your relationship crumble. Sex is the foundation. 80 to 90% of the relationship is based on that. For men like me who don't need all this other bullshit, it is 100% based on the sex, because I can afford to eat out, I can afford cleaning ladies, I can afford eventually to pay a surrogate to have my kid and not have to use that as leverage in court against me. Okay, I can pay a nanny or babysitter to take care of one of my kids, all of my kids, however I ever end up having, because I do plan on having at least 6 with 6 different ethnicities. Creating a place for adopting kids, because they are the future. You adults, whatever that fucking word. No, most of you are children anyways, but most of you adult children who think you're adults, who are children who are adults, physically and legally speaking, are very old dogs that you can't teach them new tricks. So the future's in the youth. I'm gonna make these kids, put them in an environment that brings out the badass into them, because when you can see what I can do, Let's see here. Let me show you here. So this is another thing. What I'm telling you, I don't have to do this fucking route.
Whoa, it swings all day.
All right, we're just gonna let this play so you guys can see my capabilities, physical capabilities.
Change your seating.
Free trade, free trade. I got diamond hands. Lord, I've been busy trading stocks. I wouldn't trade my life though. I'm going up like GameStop. I should really check my FICO. Whole market going crazy. Ain't no telling where it might go. You can end up on a yacht, or you can end up on a lifeboat. I'm stocked up like a safe house. Throw the flag cause I'm holding. It's really crazy how just one app got the whole game snowed in. It's a very freaky Friday, and I ain't talking Lizzie Lohan. I guess I gotta bring the heaters out. It's saying all my friends are frozen.
It's my money, and I need it now!
I said Robin Hood, why you Robin Hoods? Invested in myself and my bids are looking good. Yeah, my stock's going way up. My stock's going way up. I said Robin Hood, why you Robin Hoods? Invested in myself and my bids are looking good. Yeah, my stock's going way up. Stock's going way up. My stock's going way up. Stock's going way up. Wake up every morning to the cream and the coffee. Stay about my paper, don't be crying wolf on Wall Street. What they say fugazi, it's a woozy, it's a wazi. Ain't worried cause I got me. The early bird catch bodies. Now ballin' is my hobby. Go pro, I'm professional. Stocked up like I'm Robin Hood. I can't seem to let it go. Go to let the record show my paper extra extra. Turn my wrist to riches and the diamond rings etc. I said Robin Hood, why you Robin Hoods? Invested in myself and my bids are looking good. Yeah, my stock's going way up. My stock's going way up. I said Robin Hood, why you Robin Hoods? Invested in myself and my bids are looking good. Yeah, my stock's going way up. Stock's going way up. My stock's going way up. Stock's going way up. Hold the line. We taking it to the moon, baby. My stock's going way up.
And there you go. See, I can get the baddest bitches in the gym because when they see me do that, it's over fucking with, man. Like I said, I don't have to do this shit, but again, man, your time is actually worth a lot more. You invest it in learning skills and knowledge, and you invested in the business world, and I'm gonna give you a little fucking free nugget here. You focus on a product-based business, not a service-based business. You do that after the fact, because when you got to deal with fucking humans, all right, you got to deal with all kinds of bullshit. All right, take care. Hopefully you guys like this. Make it go viral. Know your fucking worth, man. Know your fucking worth. Stop fucking disrespecting yourselves.